Hi y'all, this is Jo with Jo and Coaching, and today we're going to be talking about on this podcast and video what you need to accept in 2024 to be successful. I have about 10 or 11 items I want to hit on, and so let's get started. Number one, that it isn't one size fits all. You're going to see other people doing X, Y, and Z, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's for you, even if they're successful doing it. And that's okay. You need to experiment and you need to find what works for you. Then you need to practice and perfect this one or two things, and that's where you need to find your focus, whether it's your tone while you're door knocking, your elevator pitch at a networking event, or who you're speaking to here on YouTube. I want you to perfect this one thing that you're super good at. That way you can be proud of yourself. Number two, that there is no other way to reach people at a mass with little to no budget other than creating content. Video, words, blog posts, they all work. Creating content, evergreen content is where you need to be focusing a lot of attention for 2024. That there is no other way, that's what I just read. Number three, that if you're doing something you've never done before, you're probably going to need support, whether it's a coach, a personal assistant, or even bringing your spouse in on your plan. Having a support system is one of the huge things that helped propel me. I paid for courses that I never took, but being in those Facebook groups did 10 times more for me personally than the course ever did. So community is going to be key. Support comes in all different shapes and sizes. It can be one of these lovely books behind me. It can be your best friend that's kind of going on the same endeavor that you're going on, but having support is really important to avoid being lonely. Real estate is super lonely. Number four, that one video a week isn't good enough. Everyone is doing one video a week right now, so you need to do more. More is more, I promise, trust me. Number five, that there's no room for excuses and not to give up. Now, excuses come in all shapes and sizes, and I promise it's the number one thing holding you back from meeting your definition of success. So I want you to do some journaling. I want you to talk about everything that's holding you back from what you want, and I want you to look at what you want and decide if it's actually what you want. Number six, that you need to have focus. Stop chasing every single shiny penny and listening to every single guru. Only listen to people that have proof that their tactics work. Number seven, that you can't have it all no matter what anyone tells you. You need to pick your priorities and you need to make every single one of your decisions based on these priorities made when you had this level-headedness back when you decided though. Because if you are down in the gutter trying to make decisions, you are going to struggle to make the right decisions. So you need to follow through with the decisions you made, the plans you made, all the time, no matter what. Don't give up. You need something quantitative to decide whether it was a failure or not, but you need to try, especially if it's something that made sense to you 6 months ago. Number eight, that you need to lean into your strengths and hire out to your weaknesses. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory, but if you hate writing contracts, hire that out. That amount of time it takes you to write a contract, whether it's 1 or 2 hours, that can be used to create not 30, but 5 or 10 videos. So I think, or blog posts, I think it's super important to hire out anything you don't enjoy or anything you're weak at, including editing. There's so many examples of this, but anywhere that you are feeling just not necessarily animosity, but any negative feelings, I think you should try to hire out for those things or make the decision if they're really necessary in your business. Number 9, stop caring about what other people think of you. When I first started my very first podcast, someone that I really, really respected told me that it wasn't good, and it didn't affect me a ton. Maybe in the moment it did, but I know it didn't affect me a ton, if any at all, because I wasn't creating for them, I was creating for me. And my very first podcast was just to document my journey. And I just want you to remember, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for yourself. And the only person that needs to be proud of you is yourself. That was like a huge game changer in my life, realizing that I get to be proud of myself. And yeah, so huge story around that. Number 10, that there are so many things around you that you can't control. You need to realize you can't control a handful of things in your life, including people, and you need to focus on the things that you can control, which is your voice, your actions, and your decisions. So last but not least on my list was be you. I think this is super important, especially on video. You will come across more trustworthy and more natural if you just show up being yourself. Like I show up, I read half the things that I'm saying to y'all just because I get nervous on camera, but this is me and I'm showing up being 100% authentic, and I think that's what you need to do, because if you're not being authentic, people are going to see 100% through you, and they're never going to arrive at having trust with you, no matter what profession you're talking about. So just be you. It's okay if you fumble, you mess up, the dog jumps on your lap, licks off half your makeup. Like, I promise it doesn't matter. People are going to respect what you have to say when you show up and you're not trying to be someone else. So again, this is Jo with Jo in Coaching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, whether you're listening to it as a podcast or watching it as a video on YouTube. I hope you subscribe or follow us. Right now we're offering wake-up calls, so check out that link below. We also have the mentorship. We're about to roll out a course, how to conquer Google in baby steps, so a link to that's going to be down below. But follow me on Instagram. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.